So in the TikTok case, Congress passes this law because of this Chinese connection, Chinese CCP connection with TikTok, and says on January 19th, you've got to either divest control China or cease operations. And of course, nothing happens. And so instead they file a lawsuit. And on January 17th, 2 days before the law was to go into effect, you have the Supreme Court issuing this decision that basically says that TikTok, they reject this idea that TikTok has a First Amendment challenge. It says the law is, because of national security, constitutional and can go into effect. Donald Trump, as president-elect, filed a brief in that case, and the brief literally said Donald Trump is the best negotiator ever, and as a result, nobody can negotiate like him, and as a result, the court should just wait until January 20th. The court doesn't wait. They issue its decision saying that the TikTok ban should go into effect. Now, Congress, when they wrote the law, said that, that there was a one-time exception that the president could make. And if he made certain certified findings for one time for 90 days, the suspension of TikTok could be put on hold. So what does President Trump do on January 20th? He suspends it for 90 days, no certification, and then he suspends it for another 90 days and another 90 days because he has difficulty reading what a one-time exception means. And that's where we are right now. And this is a very dangerous constitutional thing. Because, and we now know this from Freedom of Information requests that came out last week. Basically, the law didn't just prohibit TikTok from operating. It prohibited any service provider from aiding TikTok. So every time Apple installs the application on your phone, that violates the TikTok statute, or Google on their phone system and the like. So billions and billions of dollars in damages are potentially there. What did the Trump administration do? They wrote some secret letters to these different tech companies and said, don't worry, what you're doing is not illegal. Now, that is not something I've seen happen to my knowledge, in our lifetimes. We've certainly had examples of the executive branch doing stuff that's outside the law, but here what you have is an executive licensing illegality by third parties and saying, don't worry, I'm not going to enforce it against you. And if you think back to the English Declaration of Rights of 1689, one of the complaints about the king is that he had the pretended power to suspend the laws and the execution of the laws. There's a reason why Article 2 of our Constitution says the president shall, quote, take care that the law be faithfully executed. It's a direct result of that 1689 history. And what you have now is a president saying in secret to his friends, don't worry, I'm not going to enforce the law against you. I can't think of something that could be more dangerous.